everyone, so I did my unboxing video and I didn't manage to get any photos of my Ancistrus L255 or I got a few of the L255 and I thought I'd update with some better photos of what I've got. And just so you can see the difference. So I've only really got photos of the males apart from the L255, which is the more ranunculus, Ancistrus ranunculus appearance. They probably won't come out in this video. They run as soon as I come in the room. Usually I leave the tank lights off more than I leave them on. And the flow in this, I've got the external, the eHome Professional 4 Plus 600. I've also got this, and I've got the air powered filters, which is the 400 Awaza air pump. And that, if I show you the flow on this tank, because these Ancistrus need flow an insane amount, so that's the noise it makes. So doing a video of that, but you can see it's a lot of so it's a lot of movement, especially at the surface, which the surface isn't as much. I want flow throughout the tank, but they do like that lot of oxygen. So I'll just turn that off, it won't matter for you. So they're both Ancistrus. So Ancistrus is generally defined by the fact it has those bristly tentacles. And what I might have not mentioned in the other video is Ancistrus is a weird genus, as in it's not actually been that well looked at for a long time, and there are people looking at it now. So there's Nathan Lujan in America, I can't pronounce his name well. He's studying the genus as a whole to do a revision, which means that ranunculus might, well, I don't have ranunculus in here, but that might end up in a whole new genus. And that will probably ruin a lot of fish keepers' ideas. And Ancistrus has been in a genus, separate genus before. Well, I mean, there's been separate genuses. There's Xenocara and the other one I cannot remember off the top of my head. So it's not unusual. And in the past, there's a lot of revisions. I think quite a few were known as hypostomus at one point. And other things were added into Ancistrus and their synonymous genuses. So a lot of Chetsoma, sort of the rubber mouth, rubber nose, plecos, the weird, I find them freaky, but yeah, they were added in. So these guys, the L number, I'm not using a species name, and you might notice I've not used a scientific name for them. And is there a reason why? Yes, because they're not described. And I know L255 has been in the hobby a long time, but it takes a lot of money to describe a genus, and there isn't, a species, and the scientists need pay. They're not, to be a taxonomist, you don't get much pay, sadly, and you might think, oh, it's brilliant, you get to describe and discover new species, but taxonomy is losing money all the time. And there's not many people being trained. There's one course for fish, for like animal taxonomy in the UK. For plants, I think there's 2. There's Kew Gardens, and I think one in Edinburgh for plants. For animals, it's just Imperial College, the Natural History Museum, which is what I'm doing. But so they haven't been described. They're Ancistrus, and you can kind of work out where they are. Ancistrus 225 looks a lot closer to Ancistrus ranunculus, and personally I'd say it's a little bit different. It looks a lot shallower. And then the L359. Now that looks like an intermediate between Ancistrus macropthalamus, which I'll put photos up here of Ancistrus macropthalamus, and it looks like an intermediate between them and Ancistrus ranunculus. So it's a bit of a weird one. They're beautiful, and the spots are weird because if you look at Ancistrus ranunculus, the juveniles have spots, and the 225 have spots throughout their life. And I believe a breeder, Jacqueline, I can't remember her surname, she bred some Ancistrus ranunculus that held their spots for an unknown amount of time. So it's a bit difficult whether it's neotenic, like neoteny is, the axolotl, then regaining certain juvenile features. They are not entirely juveniles. They are not juveniles that have got sexual maturity. They are just retaining certain features. So compared to other, there's a few sea squirts and stuff. Technically, the whole of vertebrates. So it's weird. They're a weird group, and like macropthalamus, L255 and ranunculus, these are more carnivorous than normal Ancistrus. And you see people there like, I've got a new bristle nose, it's really cool. And they think it needs the same care. They are totally different. They like faster flow, high temperature. So this tank is at about 28 degrees. And that's more Ancistrus territory, really. And L225 and ranunculus come from the Rio Zinga. I believe that ranunculus is known to come from further distances. And I cannot pronounce the name of the river for L359. I keep forgetting numbers, sorry. They come, got it written down. Rio de Mazism. It's close to Minas, which is the capital of Amazonas. It's somewhat close, look at the map. So they're not from really close areas, and Ancistrus is a bit of an unknown genus. A lot of people get the common bristlenose Ancistrus cf. The very common species. So these ones just get a tiny bit forgotten, really. So they like the high flow. They are a lot different. Personality-wise, I find they like to stick in very tight spaces. And in the wild, you notice, ranunculus has been a few films in the wild. You're not going to get the other ones because they're just L numbers. So it's a bit, scientists recognise them just as a SP, meaning undescribed, unknown. That you could say AF or CF. CF ranunculus. Well, more AF. It's got affinity to ranunculus in the L255. And so you'll notice my plec caves. That's a plec cave. It's really narrow, and they like those really tight spaces compared to, if you say Ancistrus, which you tend to get more round ones. And even the Ancistrus, that one's for my Ancistrus. He doesn't use it though. He or she. So they're very different, and they're not Ancistrus to make a mistake with. They're a lot more sensitive. Specifically the ranunculus, I've not really experienced it too much with the L255. And the macropthalamus I found hardy. They're very shy, and they've got more confident with the more ranunculus, the more Ancistrus I have in the tank. So Ancistrus is a massive genus. I believe it's at least 50 or so species. Including the undescribed, and they're really unusual. So you get the L504 or 405, I think it's 504, and that has bristles just on the front of its head. And then you compare to other ones, there's more ranunculus types, and the differences between these ones and a lot of the common Ancistrus, so males and females both have really expressive big bristles compared to compared to the common ones. So a lot of people have issues sexing them, and males do have big ones. Macropthalamus isn't as easy, I find. The males are reasonably the same. It's more look at the other features. So pectoral fins are thicker. Odontos can sometimes give a clue, but it's really difficult with them. And they're not common, so you don't have to worry. Just don't make the mistake buying a Medusa plec and then think it's the same as any other, because they're not. So that's probably the end of the video. You can't see it. None of mine are going to come up. My Ancistrus cf. Is there. He's more herbivorous than the others. Ancistrus L359 is meant to be more herbivorous, but I'm not entirely sure. And I'd have to look at that more, because I think looking at where they'd probably stand, I'd say they're more carnivorous-ish. But by carnivorous, I don't mean they're Ancistrus carnivorous. I mean they prefer more meat in their diet, so more of a hemi-Ancistrus peculiar diet than, say, the normal Ancistrus or Ancistrus diet. maybe of a more, well, they come from areas with no wood in the diet. Looking at the videos, it's all rocks. So I wouldn't make the mistake of saying they eat wood, because it's really helpful they do. And no fish so far has been proven to actually be able to digest, as in like assimilate wood. So there. Anyway, thank you for watching. Sorry it's been a bit of a long video. Anyway, thank you.